Welcome everybody, and say hello to the 1964 World Champion Cleveland Browns. You know what? No matter what anyone's age in Cleveland, young, middle-aged, old, nobody ever forgets or tires of hearing about the 1964 Cleveland Browns. Jim, what does that mean to you?
I love it. I love Cleveland. I love the fact that they remember the 64 championship team.
Forever.
And I sure love these guys that are up here with me.
Absolutely.
Because it was a team victory.
It has to be very special to the two gentlemen down here, Paul Warfield from Ward Harding High School, Jim Houston, the pride of Massillon High School, go Tigers. And then the trail takes the two of you to Ohio State, and then to the Cleveland Browns. I mean, that's the triple crown around here, isn't it?
He had Raymond Berry, who was legendary as a Hall of Famer, wide receiver. They had a great defense led by Gino Marquette. He had Jim Parker from Ohio State in that offensive unit. There's 5 Hall of Fame players on the field. And when I'm a rookie coming out there, I'm going to be on the same field with those legendary players. But as Jim Houston and the defense did, they held, and this was a scoring machine of Baltimore.
Right. They
held them to no points. They did their jobs, and they enabled us to get going in the second half.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you all personally this question. It was 51 years ago, and we crave, don't we, a championship here in Cleveland right now. I mean, we really, anything, right? We really want it. But I understand, as far as celebrations are concerned, the Browns, you guys kind of just went to a party after the game in downtown Cleveland, as reports are. It was kind of, it was almost like you expected it. There wasn't a wild celebration, was there? Can you go back in time, Jim, and remember that, what it was like moments after you won the championship?
Well, I'm not the celebration type. I don't like to jump up and down and dance and scream and holler. I like to look inside of me and show an appreciation in the fact that we have been victorious. And of course, that was the greatest sports day that I ever had, was to be a part of a team that beat the great Baltimore Colts. But there's one thing I would really like to say.
Go ahead.
I'm so happy that we now are sophisticated enough to give the defense the credit that they deserve. Because the media did not understand what it meant for Jim Houston and those guys to be able to stop, as Paul said, a Hall of Fame group of individuals.
Right.
John Mackey was a beast. People were afraid of him. Johnny Unitas was the best quarterback at that time of all time. Lenny Moore, as Paul said, was diversified as any player in the game. And I was so proud to be able to, throughout the years, give credit to a defense that was so great that never got the credit.
Well, that's great. Jim, do you remember, right after the championship, did you celebrate? Was it just the greatest day that you could ever imagine?
I celebrated, and I have to thank these two gentlemen right here that helped us win the games. And they were responsible for most of our success. I was on defense, so, you know, defense doesn't do anything. You just kind of stand around.
Sounds like you did a lot.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Paul, tell me, what was your great memories of it?
Like Jim, I'm not a really celebratory kind of individual, and we did some quiet things, my wife and I and friends, and we were enormously happy as the entire city was. But let me just say this. I indicated we're playing against a scoring machine and a great defensive unit. my first inclination, I had tremendous confidence because I knew the Browns organization, the Browns history, and playing with the greatest player in the game, and what we could do. But before we could get to that game, we had to win one more game. We had to go to New York and play against the New York Giants and beat them.
At Yankee Stadium?
At old Yankee Stadium, yes. And in preparation, it was an unusually cold week in Cleveland, like your past winter here.
Yes.
And our practice field was good, but we wanted to go down to the stadium for a practice. No, our practice field was not good, as a matter of fact. And so we needed to go down to the stadium for a practice session to get our final work in.
Yeah.
And as we go into the stadium, now this is going to be 2 weeks before a championship will be played in that old stadium. As I walk in there with the rest of the teammates from the squad, I look up and I see a sign that had been placed up there, Cleveland and Baltimore. So even the grounds crew and everybody, they knew we were going to get there. And if they knew we were going to get there, we certainly were going to get there, and we got there.
Absolutely. I want to ask you this. Right now, we are all sending positive vibes and best wishes out to Oakland for the Cavaliers, who are now, they are carrying the responsibility. They're going to try and bring a championship right back here to Cleveland and be the first major sports franchise to win one for Cleveland since you guys did it in 1964. And they're going to try and do it after some tough news after game one with Kyrie Irving fracturing his kneecap. You have been in the ear of LeBron James, I know, throughout his career. What would you say to him right now as he readies himself to try and win the championship, but now it might be a little bit tougher because they've lost a sensational player?
This is very important for me. It's very important for me to have an opportunity to tell you what I would not do. LeBron James knows what he is doing. He's proven that he has the ability to lead men. He has a great attitude about team play. He can do it all. He is a humanitarian. And God gave him a gift that very few athletes have, and very few people have. So I would say, LeBron, keep doing what you're doing, my brother. I would not dare to think that I have any words of wisdom for you, because the way that you helped this team get back to the point where Cleveland can have a championship team once again is magical. So my respect for him is not to give him any advice, but to say that I appreciate the things that he's done to get them to this point at this particular time.
Well said.